We don't. We do it. We show you what happens after, a betrayal of the scale that we did in season 1. We show you the ramifications of that. That echoes onwards, not just into season 2, but you probably see ramifications of that in season 3 and beyond. I want to make sure that these events feel real to you, to our audience. That, if Omni-Man, in season 8, like thousands of people died. Like, we have a number for how many people we think died in episode 8 of season 1, and we want to make sure that that feels real going forwards, and that people are like, I can't believe that happened. Like, that affected me. Nice to meet you guys, Daniel and Anthony.
We are so happy to be talking with you today and sharing your time with us on the Movie Podcast. You've worked on some of our favorite animated series, so it's truly an honor to be talking with you today, Simon.
No, thank you. That's very kind of you to say.
Big George Shrinks, Jacob Tutu, Teen Titans especially.
Nobody knows those shows.
We're Canadian, so we're repping like the old white TV shows.
Oh my God, you guys are! That's amazing. Are you in Toronto? Where are you?
We're in Toronto.
Yep. Why not?
Yeah. So fellow Canadians. So it's nice to be talking with you today.
Exactly. I can drop the American accent.
There you go. Feel free to drop an A or say a boot with us. We're happy to hear it. We love Invincible so much. So right out the gate, we have to ask you, how has it felt for you to see all the love and support the show is getting into season 2? Oh
my God. Are you kidding? It's like a gift every day. It's incredible. I mean, you guys know, you write about movies and TVs, there's great shows and great movies that don't find an audience and just kind of, they can be fantastic, stories that just don't find an audience. And there can be terrible ones that do find an audience. And sometimes it's just luck of the draw. So, I had no idea that the show would be this popular. I was hoping we'd just have like a kind of a niche audience that really liked us, and that, just enough people to let us do more seasons of it, obviously. So this was a massive surprise. So I do not take it for granted. I'm grateful every day that we have our audience and our fans, because that lets us make more of it. And the only thing I hope is that, everybody's giving us, an hour of their time per episode. And I want to make sure that what we give them is a great hour. A great entertaining hour of great characters, of emotion, of action, of, some violence in return. And that's the deal we make, I feel like. You give me an hour, I will try to give you the most entertaining hour I can do in that time. And so that's our side of the deal. And that's my way of giving back, hopefully, to the fans, of just like, and respecting people's time and our audience. Yeah.
Yeah. And people are ravenous for the show to come back. So it's wonderful to have a date knowing when to expect new episodes. So it's been great.
Yeah.
Season 1 really broke new ground in what we've come to expect from an animated series. How does season 2 of Invincible set itself apart from the first season?
One of the things we do is, I feel like a lot of comic books, both in television and film and in comic books nowadays, they don't really, things get rebooted, things start over again. They don't necessarily deal with the ramifications of these great big events, these things that happened beforehand, or then give it sort of like a little bit of lip service. We don't. We do it. We show you what happens after, a betrayal of the scale that we did in season 1. We show you the ramifications of that. That echoes onwards, not just into season 2, but you probably see ramifications of that in season 3 and beyond. I want to make sure that these events feel real to you, to our audience. That, if Omni-Man, in season 8, like thousands of people died. Like, we have a number for how many people we think died in episode 8 of season 1. And we want to make sure that that feels real going forwards, and that people are like, I can't believe that happened. Like, that affected me. There's trauma from that. There's, emotional problems from that. People lost their families. Like, what does that do to the world and to mostly our characters? And how can we explore that in a really grounded way? So I like to think that that's what we do a little differently than some other shows. And that's, we're going to, lean into that going forwards in season 1. And we're still going to have fun. There's still going to be great superhero stuff and, things like that. But season 1 happened, and it definitely, we don't wipe it away and sort of start new for season 2. Like, everything that happened in season 1 is going to affect everything in season 2.
And I think right out of the gates, again, no spoilers from what we've seen of the new season, but it's really refreshing to see a show carry on, right where this story has left off, and take that forward and see those ramifications. But I also have to ask you, because Invincible is one of the bloodiest and brutal shows that we have ever seen, and we love it. We absolutely love it for it. Is there ever a limit to how much you guys can show or animate in a show like this? We're just very curious.
Well, not from, like, honestly, not from Amazon. Like, obviously, I worked in, I did programming for younger kids for a while, and obviously that has some very, very hard limits. But no, Amazon lets us do whatever we need to do to tell the story properly. I mean, sometimes there's production limits. We're like, how many pieces of brain can we have flipping around through the air? The animators are like, oh God, I don't know, 10? That's the most, because then it's hard. So there's production limits, and there's artistic limits. We want things to look good as well and feel good. But honestly, it's we don't have any kind of prescribed, like, Amazon has never asked us once to be like, whoa, guys, slow down, like, back off a little bit. Like, that's never happened. But at the same time, I hope it doesn't feel like we're being gratuitous either. Like, we want to up the stakes, we want to up the emotion, we want to up the action. But at the same time, we're not just popping people's heads to pop people's heads. Like, we're doing it hopefully because this is what the story is. This is what's happening in the story, And you know what? If a character with super strength punched a normal guy, this is kind of what would happen. So hopefully it feels earned and not gratuitous.
It definitely does. I think that's something that we've spoken about a lot. That everything in the show feels, as much as it could, feels grounded and real. Like, this is what would happen in a story like this.
Right. Great. Well, good. Well, thank you. And and hopefully that's working.
I think it's fair to say the relationship between Omni-Man and Mark is a little strained. How will their dynamic evolve in season 2?
It's gonna be difficult. Like, if they ever meet again, it will be really, really hard. I mean, like, your dad. Like, imagine if your dad, someone you trusted your entire life, kind of tried to kill you, and then also turned out to be a gigantic mass murderer. Like, what would that meeting be like when you saw him again? Like, how would they be? But he's still your dad. Yeah. And so, can you extinguish 20 years of love for someone like that? I mean, maybe not. I mean, I can tell you that if they do meet in the show again, that's something we would explore deeply. So
it's really incredible to see how you guys have been adapting it. But something I really want to speak to you about is the music choices in the show. And I think going back to the first season, and especially in season 2, we have some incredible needle drops that happen. And I'm just wondering, is that something that you guys are including in the scripting stage? Is this something that you're working on in the edit? Like, how are you choosing the songs to go with it? Because all of the choices have been amazing. I really hope you guys drop a playlist of everything.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I mean, that's continuing in season 2. It happens a variety of different ways. Sometimes it happens in the script. Often we will call out, we'll say, like, a sad, somber piano-based needle drop will play here. We just have an idea, because you're writing the scene, so you have an idea of what you want the scene to do, what you want it to communicate emotionally. So we drop those in the script. And then when we get to production later on in the process, we have music supervisors. We have a great team of music supervisors. So we go to them and we're like, hey, so we're looking for something here. We kind of want something sad. And they'll come up and they'll come back to us with, like, probably 10 suggestions of different tracks. And we listen to those and then we drop them in. And we see which ones work well with picture. And sometimes we're like, you know what? None of those 10 work. Actually, you know what? The sad thing isn't working here. Let's go different. Let's give us something a little more upbeat. They'll come back to us with another 10 tracks and drop it in. So it's this kind of trial and error process to fit it in and find the right song for it. Occasionally, though, there are tracks where it's just like right off the bat, one of us, often me, I'm like, no, I know exactly what song I want here. And we just have to see if we can license it. If it's available, because some songs you can't, some artists don't license their music. It's so much expensive. But we've been really lucky, again, with a great team of music supervisors. Even if they can't get you the exact song you want, they're like, okay, I know you want this song. We can't get it, but here's like another 6 that are kind of in the same vein that we think do something similar that you might like. So yeah, and we do that all through season 2. So some songs we figure out really, really early on. Some are literally very late in the process, and it's a combination of all that, of people pulling together and finding just the right way to communicate the emotion of that scene.
And that's what I think we've loved so much in the series, is that you're telling such an incredible and intertwined story. And I think everything from the music, even the voices, you have an incredible voice cast. I think one of the greatest voice casts ever assembled in a series, like be it animated or live action. Do you have voices in mind when you're going into scripting the show, or do you have people you think would be great fits for that? Or is this something that, comes as the show's progressing?
Again, I would say it's kind of similar to the music. Robert and I often have conversations early on where we're like, oh, who do you think would play that person? he has a couple ideas or I have a couple ideas, and we just make a list, and that list, then we sort of talk about it, and then we talk to our casting director, who often has other names, and she's like, oh, you're looking at people like that. Here's some other people you haven't thought about as well. And then we go through this list, and then we kind of put it in order, honestly, of who we want to go to first. And we're very, very lucky on the show. I mean, our cast is amazing. I can't say enough good things about our cast. But we're very, very lucky in the show that almost every time, not every time, but almost every time we get the first person we ask for. So we're like, this person, let's go to this person first. And then our casting director gives us a call like 2 days later. It's like, they're in. And we're like, great, that's awesome. So that was easy. Sometimes, and then there's some other smaller roles that sometimes you figure that out later on in the process. You're like, oh yeah, we have to cast this person as a small role. Well, we could go for somewhere really big for that. Or if maybe it's just a one-off small role, then maybe we can have another actor. Some of our actors double voices for us because it just makes production more efficient. So sometimes we're like, oh, I bet Ross Marquand could do that guy really well. Let's ask to double up on what he's doing already for us for the Immortal and for Rudy.
Chameleon of voices.
He's unbelievable. He's insane what he can do with his voice, and then also act. It's unfair how much talent that guy has.
Yeah, he's been just hit with the talent stick. Simon, we just want to say thank you so much. We are so in love with what you're doing with Invincible. We cannot wait to see where the show goes, and we really hope we get to talk to you again. So thank you so much, and congratulations.
Guys, thank you so much. Thank you. It's people that you talking about the show, writing about the show, caring about the show that lets us make more of it, lets me do this job. So I appreciate the time you guys spend watching the show and talking about it and writing about it. So thank you so much.